Hey, Dawn Ziegler here, the rebuilding coach, and I got to tell you that today's topics is one of my favorite. So we're going to talk about being defensive today. So first, I want you to take a second to think about the last time that you got defensive. Maybe you were arguing with your partner or a friend, or even like you heard something in the media and you immediately bristled. So first, what is defensiveness? What it is that you hear something and your brain feels like it's under attack, and so you're literally like defending, right? So see if you can think of something that made you feel defensive, and I'll give you some examples. So let's just say you're a woman and somebody said like, oh, you're kind of muscular. One woman might think something that's defensive, like, what? Oh my gosh, does this mean I don't look feminine? Is something wrong? So that's defensiveness. Thoughts that don't lead to defensiveness would be something like a woman saying like, "Oh my God, like damn straight, I work hard to get these muscles." Okay, so you can see the difference. So for me, it would be if somebody said like, "Oh my gosh, she's got blue hair." Like I wouldn't get defensive. I would just be like, "Yeah, like I think it's great." And if they didn't like it, it would be fine with me. So let me give you an example of something that happened that has been kind of a revelation within the last couple weeks. So, about a year ago, I just kind of heard through the grapevine that somebody said that I was annoying and bossy. And so, of course, like when you hear stuff like that, at least for me at the time, I was just like, what? So, I tried to feel better by saying things like, well, if I was a man, they would call me a leader, that kind of thing, too. So, I thought I had worked through it and kind of accepted the part of myself that's bossy and annoying. I'm like, yes, of course, everybody is annoying sometimes. So I thought I had worked on it. Well, apparently not, because then it was about a month ago. Again, I heard through the grapevine that the same person said something to the effect of, well, we know that Dawn wears the pants in the family. And immediately I bristled. I felt that same defensive feeling coming up, right? And I was just like, what is going on? Because as a coach, I know that one of the biggest reasons why we get defensive is because deep down, part of us believes that the person's correct, right? Like, I don't agree with the person that doesn't like my blue hair, but if I felt defensive when somebody said, "Oh, we know who wears the pants in the family," that there was something about that that bothered me. And then I went, "Holy crap." Like part of my brain agrees with this person's brain, and that sounded ridiculous because I'm all about women's empowerment and down with the patriarchy and all that kind of stuff. And I said, well, part of my brain probably agrees with her, and it's a part that I don't want to look at. So I started thinking about it, and I was like, oh my gosh. And I remembered this joke that my dad told me when I was in third grade. He said, Dawn, there is a dad and a boy, and they're traveling together. They're in a horrible car wreck. The father dies. The boy goes to the emergency room where the surgeon says, I can't operate on this child. It's my son. And my dad said, who's the son? Or who's the surgeon? And I was like, baffled. And so my dad had to tell me the answer to the joke. So that was when I was in grade school. So I realized that when somebody said, oh, she wears the pants in the family, I thought two things. One, that wearing the pants is actually a thing, which it's not. And two, that it's bad. So in my brain, I was thinking, there's certain things that men should do and certain things that women should do. And apparently, being a leader or wearing the pants is not feminine and it's not good. It's not something that I should desire. And so I was like, oh my gosh. So I spent some time, probably the last couple of weeks, thinking about that and noticing, like, I understand through coaching that if you live in the US, you have patriarchal thoughts, no matter what gender you are. So I started investigating them. And it's awesome because now I can say that I'm at a point where I'm just like, if I heard she wears the pants in the family, I wouldn't feel defensive anymore. I would just be like, yes, like, thank God. I think it's wonderful. I'm a leader. I get shit done. And people depend on me, and I'm dependable. So that's what I'd like you to do is think of the last time you got really, really defensive and see if maybe a little part of your brain agrees with the other person and you're kind of throwing yourself under the bus. Anyway, that was so helpful for me. Um, and write it out. If you can get to all the thoughts that you have about that, like the defensive thoughts and then the ones that might be underneath, trust me, it's like working on thoughts doesn't make them true. It just makes them accessible, and then you can actually work on them. Alrighty. See ya.